Hello and welcome to Envision. I'm Deanne Conrad here with Dr. Brian Maher, our superintendent, and a lot of great things happening in the district lately of note, and some media attention toward the fact that we've now named the facilities, the new high school and the new middle school. That process went with our policy and went pretty much like clockwork. You want to talk about those names?
Yeah, it really did go like clockwork. So this is the first time as a superintendent that I've had to go through the shepherding of a name, and my role was to make sure that the policy was followed. Mm-hmm. And I was all the while worried about what sort of tension might it cover or garner, what sort of pushback might the committee get, might we get. And really in the end, I don't think I could have asked for a much smoother process than the one that we went through.
Sure. So 2/3 of the name of the people who submitted names for the high school thought we needed Jefferson as the high school, and that is in fact what was selected. Pretty resounding yes behind that one.
Yeah, Thomas Jefferson, it was interesting. So if you, just even in social circles, people would say, well, it's going to be Thomas Jefferson, isn't it? And I always meant what I said, but it was a canned response of, well, we have a policy, we'll have a committee, we'll put that, and it came through really fairly quickly, not without a few detractors,
Sure.
definitely, and reasonably and rightfully so.
Yes.
But it really came through in a pretty resounding fashion that Thomas Jefferson should be the name of the high school.
Okay, well, that it is, and our middle school, Senator Ben Reifel, which I think we all admit we had to go back and do a little research. I wasn't born at the time that he had served South Dakota. Sorry, it's true.
I was.
But yet, what a selection and an honor to have his name come up in the process as well.
Thomas Jefferson High School brought me no surprise
Yeah.
when I heard. I wasn't in the committee and
Sure.
in the deliberations. When I heard the results of the committee, Thomas Jefferson High School, I would have been surprised if it wasn't that. Ben Reifel, my response, and I take no delight in this, but my response was, who is he? Mm-hmm. And then I started doing, I had some research given to me and then
Sure.
did my own research. And I went, holy cow,
Yeah.
the committee nailed it. I mean,
Right.
I have, again, social circles. I've been recently in peer. I've had people that I know only a little bit come up to me and endorse the names of the high school, but then talk specifically about Ben Reifel Middle
Sure.
School. And it is amazing the positive feedback, unsolicited positive feedback that I personally have received on that name, and have got no pushback, zero on the middle school name.
Well, this is information I just found out minutes ago, but Ben Reifel came to Laura Wilder Elementary School in the early 60s and did a flag presentation of some sort. We are now going through the archives and looking, did that flag fly at Laura Wilder? Is it possible it's still somewhere in the district? But yet knowing that he had such a connection to education, and he himself valued education at such a high degree, that just creates a little bit more excitement that the name in fact was selected.
Every piece of his life just exudes excellence. Education was certainly a central part of what helped him get to where he was professionally in the end, politically and professionally in the end, and no doubt his upbringing, his Native American roots, just the number of things that he brings to an educational entity, I think is phenomenal. I just, for a name that I had no idea would surface, I just think the committee worked.
Lucky us.
And lucky us, lucky the city of Sioux Falls,
Right.
and lucky the students that will inhabit Ben Reifel Middle School.
Awesome. And the process moving along in terms of construction, not that we're digging footings or anything like that yet, but there's a lot of design work and a lot of input and give and take that has to happen, and that's in the process for these schools.
One of the
high school.
one of the things we talked early on about when we passed the bond issue was it might be a long time before the community really sees what's happening. You know where the high school is going to be, you know where the middle school is going to be, and you keep driving by there and there's no action. And there won't be for a while, probably until May, before we actually move some dirt out in those areas. Don't confuse that with no action.
Right.
Because there's a lot going on in terms of design development, talking to user groups. Architects are busy. Our construction manager is busy. Our operational services are busy. I mean, there are people really working. So
Daily.
kind of like a duck. Looks like it's going really smooth, but under the water,
There's
really
a
a lot of paddling going on.
Very good. Well, it'll be exciting to see exactly how all of that pans out and seeing a structure come up from the ground. But right now it seems like there's exciting things happening as well. So we hope you continue to join us on this journey of 2 new schools for Sioux Falls and a 3rd one eventually in a few more years. So thanks for joining us today on Envision.